I remember Mark Settle, the former owner of Scratchworks and DJWorks, writing about his dream of a unified library for DJ software all the way back in 2010. 15 years later, it's finally happening. Kinda. Let's talk about OneLibrary. Okay, so let's make things very clear. OneLibrary is not quite what I pictured in my head when I first heard about it, and I suspect the same will apply to many of you. But it's still incredibly exciting, and it is, I believe, the first step towards achieving the utopian ideal that we've dreamt of for so long. I'll start with what OneLibrary isn't. We are not yet in a situation where you can open up your Traktor library in Rekordbox, see all of your playlists, and after you add a cue point in Rekordbox, that cue point will be there when you next open Traktor. As someone who uses lots of different hardware and software, that's my dream. It would also make switching over to a new platform as easy as just opening the new app. But as I say, that's not quite what this is. It could potentially be that in the future, but I can see a lot of possible technical hurdles to overcome before we get to that point. Like how if you had the same library open in two apps at once, that could cause instability. So with that said, what actually is OneLibrary? Well, it's a collaboration between AlphaTheta, Algoriddim and Native Instruments. At this time, more on that later. It means that new versions of Rekordbox, DJ Pro and Traktor all now share the same library format. What used to be called Device Library Plus in Rekordbox and is now called OneLibrary. This means standardized performance data, playlists, cue points and beat grids. On a practical level, what does this give us? Well, your music is now completely portable across the different platforms involved, using external drives as an intermediary. So you can export tracks from DJ Pro or Traktor onto a USB drive, plug that drive into a CDJ, and your playlist, your cues and grids will all show up just as if you had exported from Rekordbox. And you can import tracks back the other way too. So you can export a playlist from Rekordbox, open up that USB drive in DJ or Traktor, and play the tracks from the USB, or import them to your local library with cues and grids intact. The more cynical amongst you might wonder if this isn't just a ploy from AlphaTheta to get more DJs using CDJs with USBs. But it's that two-way transfer which makes this something more than that. You can move files between all three platforms as you wish. So a Rekordbox user can easily buy, say, a Traktor MX2 and start using their music with that in a more frictionless way than they can today. So it is a win for everyone. One thing to bear in mind, it's all based around that Device Library Plus, so only more recent standalone Rekordbox hardware will work with drives that you've exported from the other platforms. So at this time, that's the Omnis Duo, the Opus Quad, the XDJ AZ, the CDJ 3000X and the CDJ 3000 with the latest firmware installed. The new version of Traktor isn't going to be available quite yet, but DJ Pro is available now, and that's what I've been given a beta of. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going to show you a few things here. I am just kind of experimenting, and this is a beta version. I've only had this a few hours, but I'm kind of getting my head around it, I think. First of all, I'm going to take a newly formatted USB drive. This is formatted in HFS Plus, ready for CDJs, and I'm going to plug it in. We have this new tab over on the left-hand side here for USB libraries. So I've clicked on that. Now I need to allow access, grant DJ permission to access the drive. I'm going to do that. And then set up USB library. This is a blank USB stick right now, nothing on this, okay? But we can see now if we drop down there, we've got all tracks and we've got playlists, nothing on that still. But I'm gonna go back into my main DJ Pro library, this test playlist here, and we can drag and drop tracks over, but I'm just gonna right click, add to USB library, DJ test. And it's now doing it. We can see down the bottom, we have the progress bar as it's transferring across. Let's go back in there. Adding playlist to DJ test. It is transferring the files onto that drive. And then in theory, which we'll test in a moment, should be able to plug that into a CDJ and it will just read it with the cue points, with the grids, etc. Which is very exciting because DJ's grids are just the best in the game by a long, long way. So let's now drop there, test playlist. There it is, right? So that is now on the USB drive. What I'm going to show you though, let's eject that one. I'm going to take that one out and I'm going to plug in another drive. This one already has a Rekordbox exported library on there from Rekordbox, right? So this has got tracks on there that I've already put on with Rekordbox. So let's drop down there. Playlists. There are my playlists from Rekordbox. There they are. Sitting there very nicely. All good, right? So that's pretty cool for a start because we can access those here. But let's go back to that main library, test playlist. I'm going to add to USB library there. So now that is exporting that to this drive. So it's mixing up tracks that are coming from the Rekordbox library and from the DJ Pro library on the same stick. Let's just get that finished, 70%. There we go. So these are fully just cross-compatible now, right? That's the whole thing. So there's my test playlist. It's now on that drive. Here's where things get even more interesting, all right? Here is this new Ibiza playlist. Let's right-click on these, or let's select them all. And now we can add them to a playlist inside of DJ if we want to. Let's, in fact, do that. I'll open up the other browse window here, and let's create a new playlist. We'll just call that one test 2. Okay, so now we're in that. This is a blank playlist. This is in my DJ Pro library. I'm going to grab these tracks and I'm going to just drag them in. Now we have options here. We can overwrite. So if these are already in the DJ collection, then I can overwrite the existing DJ cues and loops, bring over the ones from Rekordbox, or I can copy the files to the internal storage as well. So I can either play them from that drive. So if you have a big SSD or something, you can play them from that drive, or I can copy them to the internal storage. So let's do that, right? So I'm going to click OK. It's going to overwrite existing cues and loops. So now if I show in Finder, there we go. That is now on Macintosh HD and it's in my DJ library inside my music folder. So that's there. That's now on here. I've transferred that effectively from Rekordbox into DJ Pro. And if we just load it up, let's go, load a track. There it is. There's my cues and they're all set, ready to go. And so, yeah, it's just everything's really portable now. So yeah, the question is, how well is this all going to work on a CDJ? So let's eject this one. Let's fire up a CDJ and take a look. All right, so this is the bit that's really interesting now. I have not tested this yet, so you're experiencing this with me for the first time. To begin with, we have the stick, which didn't have any kind of library on it. This was a formatted blank drive. When I put it into DJ Pro, let's put it in. I did wonder why AlphaTheta let me hang on to the 3000Xs for a bit longer. I guess this is why. Normally they're very quick to take these things back. But this will work on other devices as long as they support Device Library Plus. So that's not everything historically, but it is all the kind of recent stuff. So local library, there it is. We have a library. We don't have an album because I don't. This is the thing, right? Doing this via DJ on its own, there are no preferences applied here. You know, when I play on a CDJ, typically I will, on that source menu, I will then load my settings, but there aren't any settings because I've just exported from DJ Pro. So there are no player settings here. So my normal browsing and stuff, I wouldn't normally have album there. It's there right now. But let's go into playlist, test playlist. There it is. These are my tracks. And yeah, normally I would have, you know, different color for the waveforms and stuff. But these tracks are here. And I would have the Camelot notation, all of that. So all my settings are just, they're not here. I can go in and set them up on the player, of course. But yeah, they're not here. Let's see. So let's load up. This is the test, right? For the beat grids. AlphaBeta Aerobics, Blackalicious. Let's have a look and see what this beat grid is saying. So 84, just put it to 0, 86.6, 85, 86.5. And this track increases in tempo as it goes along. So, you know, the Rekordbox beat grids will not cope with this at all. But this is the DJ Pro beat grid. Look at it go. 106, it's getting faster. 116. So, yeah. This is just working as it should. We've got those magical DJ Pro beat grids on a USB drive and I've just exported it straight out. Actually incredible. There you go. Just faster and faster as it goes up. it's doing it. I just have to hold down, jump forward, 136.8. Absolutely wild. So that's the, you know, the one that was just the DJ Pro library. Let's put in the one which I exported, which already had a Rekordbox library on there. So in theory, this one should have my settings on there as well. So I put this one in. Let's have a look. Okay. So what you might want to do is just maybe set your stick up in Rekordbox the first time, and, you know, don't have to do any exporting, but just set up your settings and whatnot. So local library, there it is. Okay, so here are my existing tracks that were on there from Rekordbox. They're all still there. You see my waveforms are multicolored now because that's what we wanted, and I can load my settings. There you go. So all fine there. Go back to browse playlist. Here's the moment of truth. Test playlist. There it is. It's there. So it looks the same. It's functioning the same. So let's go in and let's load AlphaTheta Aerobics again, and there it is. Actually unreal. Like, this is amazing. I'm so hyped for this. So yeah, there you go. That beat grid absolutely locked in because it's come from DJ. It's the DJ Pro beat grid. And the cues have come from DJ. You know, this track has not been in Rekordbox. This is from DJ. So the cue points are coming from DJ Pro. The grid is coming from DJ Pro. That playlist has come from DJ Pro. I can load up any of these and they're all just there. Again, cue points from DJ Pro. So all just there. 1, 2. Job done. Absolutely superb. A quick bonus cool thing. One of my big issues with DJ is how difficult it has been to get music from my DJ Pro library on Mac over to DJ Pro on iOS. Well, that's no longer a problem. Export your playlist to a USB drive on the Mac, open that drive on iOS and either play them from there or import them to the iPad or iPhone. A pretty huge upgrade for DJ Pro users. There's one other aspect of all this which does intrigue me. Although it doesn't yet provide the single unified DJ library that I'm after, I'm curious to see what the guys behind apps like DJ Conversion Utility and Lexicon are able to do with this more aligned, portable performance data. Definitely a watch this space kind of situation there, I think. While I was editing this video, two things happened. First of all, I got a beta of the new Rekordbox. As you can see, it's the same as the current version, just with references to Device Library Plus changed over to OneLibrary. And secondly, I started to wonder about how all this could work with streaming. Right now, I can access my Beatsource and Beatport playlists all the same in all three of the included apps, but my cues and grids don't transfer over. I'm guessing that, as of now, it's going to be a no-go, as you have to do the whole USB transfer thing, and of course you can't do that with streaming tracks. But when things like the cloud maybe get involved, yeah, I'm really excited to see where that could go to. Obviously there are 3 partners on board with this right now: Algoriddim, Native Instruments and AlphaTheta. So let's talk about the other big brands. Firstly, Serato. Now, nobody has said anything to me either way about whether or not Serato are involved. But coincidentally enough, they are currently running a public beta of a new version of Serato DJ Pro, one which is all about a major library overhaul and which, for no apparent reason, has the ability to eject external drives as one of its new features. So honestly, I don't think you really need to be Columbo in order to put 2 and 2 together and make 4.0. I could be wrong, but if I was a betting man, I would put money on them being on board. Virtual DJ is a strange case because Atomic's already kind of hacked a way to export USB drives for CDJs from their software. So again, I don't know if they're planning to be a part of this, but I really hope they are. And then we need to talk about the InMusic brands, their engine software and hardware from Denon DJ and Newmark. Again, I've heard nothing, but I am fearful that the historic animosity between InMusic and AlphaTheta might cause them to be hesitant to get involved. Well, I'm going to address InMusic directly here. You need to do this. Whatever your feelings are about the other companies, this is the biggest unforced consumer positive move that I've seen from any tech industry, and you just have to be a part of it. I want Prime 4 owners to be able to export a USB stick from Engine ready to use on CDJs in the club, and I want my DJ Pro beat grids on my Mixstream Pro. So you have to make it happen. End of story. Overall, I'm just truly stoked that this is a thing at all. To have these three companies put in the amount of work required to make this happen is unprecedented, and I absolutely applaud them for doing so. It's something which, as consumers, costs us nothing but makes our lives easier and expands our ability to utilize different software and hardware as and when we want. Yes, there will probably be teething troubles and frustrations to begin with. I'm sure there are a lot of moving parts here. And no, it's not quite the actual OneLibrary that I had in my mind yet. But in general, all I can say is bravo. In the comments, let me know your thoughts on OneLibrary as it is today and how you'd like to see it look eventually. And if you're a committed user of one particular platform, what's a feature from another platform which has turned your head and made you wonder about switching? Sound off down below. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Beatsource Tech. If you liked it, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any future videos. And hey, if you haven't already, you can try Beatsource for free and join DJcity for just $10. All the links are down in the description. I'll see you next time.